What I would like to show you now is how sturdy the vehicle is and what the hydraulic support system is capable of. Because of this unique construction, and we're the only ones in the world that have it, by the way, the vehicle is so sturdy that it can be raised up completely, and any one of the individual supports could be retracted, and it would still remain standing. So let's demonstrate that now. You can mount chains or replace a tire, and it is all very practical. Don't forget the fully loaded motorhome together with the car weighs almost 18 tons. Now it is raised roughly 20 to 30 centimeters off the ground. I could raise it much higher, but I just want to demonstrate how sturdy it is. Watch as we simply retract a support. It is so resistant to torsion that it can stand on 3 supports. I could retract each individual support as I like. That is how sturdy the vehicle is constructed. Not just because of the ingenious design, but also the composition of the different materials, such as high-strength steels, carbon fibers and carbon. The combination of these materials is what produces the sturdiness. It has no central beam in the middle, which a normal truck has, which are extremely heavy, and no cardan shaft or center bearing. It has none of this, and so it is relatively light and has a payload capacity of a good 4 tons. That is quite impressive. But the interesting thing is, we raised an 18-ton vehicle and it is standing on 3 legs, but you can still open and close all the flaps and doors normally. The vehicle has such a sturdy construction that the doors don't even bend out of shape. Here, you can see it again. Perfect. Now we come to a really important hood, because this is where the heart of the performance resides. Here it has 530 HP, but there are a lot of more fine features too. I'll open the hood and we'll take a look inside. Here we have a removable trailer hitch, for example, with a trailer load rating of 3.5 tons, which isn't exactly typical. And then we have a tool base here with all the basic tools for tire changes or sliding the wall out, in or out in an emergency situation, but which is hardly ever used. Here we can also find hoses for wastewater disposal, so you can extend the hoses by roughly 20 meters. The vehicle has a pump, but these can be used to add extensions. Here's our power unit, and there is the air conditioning and 2 alternators. This vehicle even has 3 alternators, which are combined on the engine block or the board block, so these batteries can stand 300 amperes charging power. For service, compared to the Actros, this engine has the advantage that I don't have to have somebody walking through the living room. Mechanics usually have soiled clothes on, can't always be careful, and sometimes have to go through the living room to get to the engine, but that isn't the case here. All he does is open the hood and can get easily to all the machine parts for an oil change, filter change or just general service. It is all very practical to work with. That makes a big difference. The transmission is right behind it and everything can be reached without having to go inside. Everyone asks me whether you can walk on our roofs, and so I'll show you now. We could get 20 people up here and the roof could easily withstand it. But why we are up here is to show you how much technical equipment is installed here, which you normally don't see from below. Here we have a solar unit with 1.8 kilowatt power and air conditioning systems, which we produce ourselves. To make sure that there is no noise and airflows, we install it up here on the roof. It is produced specifically for these motorhomes. Here we have a self-aligning satellite dish and exhaust systems from all the heating units, diesel and gas. Everything we have is fed up over the roof and is noise insulated, so we don't have any noise and or smell nuisances. We used to build motorhomes that had exhaust systems near the bottom, and we noticed that the smells always found their way into the vehicle, even if only the window was open. So with this, we have eliminated all these problems. Even the generator exhaust is fed up to the roof. Naturally, the wall-out is built just as sturdily and heated too. With a water heater with heating power of 14 kilowatts, it can be made ice-free. The great thing is, when you have to clear the snow and ice off the roof in winter, the wall-out can be thawed, and you can stand on the wall-out section to clear the rest of the roof. It's a small perk, but it is really helpful. We are now in the middle garage of the Performance S, and we can take a look at some of the technical equipment. Here are some pipes, professionally mounted, and a removable clothes rod. It's perfect for hanging up ski items in winter, because everything here is completely heated. The way the vehicle is built, one could sit here on a chair and all the technical equipment is within grasp. In terms of servicing and clarity of design, it is ingenious, and you can always work here in a heated room. Here I have all the heating valves, all the pumps, the water boiler and the water pump, like in a house. This is where the electrical systems are. Let's take a look. This is the central unit with all the modules. Behind there are the chargers and the gas heater, and on the other side are seals for the odor of the wastewater tank and the compressed air connection for filling the vehicle or the bikes. You can easily get to the units at the back and simply hook them on at the front to work on them. The compressor unit for the wall out is also easy to access, so you don't have to delve into a corner. So to operate things, it is really convenient to work with. On the other side, the electrical unit has all the fuses, 220 volt, 24 volt and 12 volt, and the controls for all the excrement moving and wastewater systems. It is obvious that everything is built professionally, clearly, and is easy to service. One reason for this is, we do all the production of this vehicle ourselves. From start to finish, it is designed here. We manufacture every single component. We can produce the vehicle according to our priorities, and we aren't confined to any specific beams, shafts or exhaust systems. You won't find that here. That's why we are so free to make our own decisions about our technical equipment and how things are used, for a car, for weight. We are now back in the rear storage space where we can take a look at the hydraulics. So here we can see the hydraulic valves, for example, and the pumps, the distribution systems and the manual pump. This means that all the valves can be pumped manually if any electronics fail. Here is another really nice feature, a hydraulic tank that we produce ourselves that perfectly matches the vehicle. It's like a tailored suit. So we exploit every inch of space, and that's why such large tank volumes are possible. Now we come to the exterior flaps, which are made completely of aluminium and fully welded. They have bus handles and, really important, double latch mechanisms. It is constructed with a complete seal all round, with no interruptions whatsoever. This means their full surface presses against the frame to ensure a 100% seal. I've seen situations where seal is simply cut away in the middle for a latch, but that is a poor design and can't possibly seal properly. Here you can see all the effort we go to, because the dampers, hinges and latches are all placed behind the seal. So now we come to the main door, which with its double closing mechanisms and 2 locks is built just as sturdily and solidly as the side flaps, virtually impossible to break open. And now we come to the electrical systems for the complete vehicle, whereby for the performance we only buy the engine, the transmission and the electrical systems. This is where the electrical systems can be found, either from Volvo or Mercedes. Up here there's some electrical components too. This unit is made by us, and it is for the living quarters. This is where the fuses can be found. So you can quickly check a fuse from the inside to make sure everything is okay. Now I'm going to open up this special flap again to show you something. Here we made a conscious decision to place everything for the vehicle supply and disposal needs. So starting here we have excrement and wastewater, and down here is the drain pipe. Here are the 12, 24 or 220 volt fuses and the supply lines for 220 volts. Here you can fill up fresh water and heating fluids. Here you can easily access the pumps, like the pump for the heater. Another thing worth mentioning is this entire assembly has a hot water supply. So you can tour even when it is minus 30 degrees Celsius with no problem at all, because the heat always rises. So the impellers and the tanks never freeze. Super. Here is another fine feature. If you're touring at night or if you want to park, the vehicle has a complete lighting system in these corrugations on each side. As you can see, around the entire vehicle it is as bright as day. But every single side can be switched separately. If I was driving over a pass in the Alps, for example, and I wanted to avoid blinding the car behind me, I can switch off the back. This makes it easier to discern the way. It is also great when I stop at a campsite or in a poorly lit area. Even better is the fact that the entire lighting system can be operated from the bedroom. We've used that on occasion too. If there are noises outside or you have an uneasy feeling, you can press a button in the bedroom and all the lights go on. Basically, it's like a floodlight. It's great. And the light fixtures are virtually invisible because they're fully integrated.